But yeah, let's just begin with the hips elevated, the feet on the ground. You might take a few moments to let the shoulders inch a little bit wider towards the edges of your mat. Maybe rock your head side to side, kind of freeing up the sides of your neck, letting the back of the head roll along the ground. Take a couple slow breaths here to just check in with how your breath feels this afternoon. What is your breath doing? What are its qualities? In yoga philosophy, there's this, that one of the yamas, the fifth yama, Aparigraha, means non-possessiveness or non-attachment or letting go. And we'll be exploring that a little bit in today's class. And I wanted to start by sharing a little passage from The Yamas and the Niyamas by Deborah Adele. I know I've read this in class that both of you have been in before, but this is a different part of the book, Aparigraha. And Deborah Adele says, Aparigraha invites us to let go and to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying fully. She goes on to talk about the breath as a teacher for Aparigraha. She says, what if we could trust life like we trust the breath? What if we could take in all the nourishment of the moment and then let it go fully, trusting that more nourishment will come? Letting your next breath in be receiving. Your next breath out, letting go, offering, giving freely. I'll invite you to let your breath be your guide and teacher for today's practice. You can gently begin to lift your pelvis off of your block and lower down onto the earth, regrounding. Walk your feet out wide and tip the knees together. Let's stretch the arms up and overhead, taking a little bit of a stretch up through the fingertips. You might even lengthen through one side of the body, reaching through those fingertips, and then reach through the other side. And then gently coming back through the center, let's bring the hands onto the belly and feel into the movement of the breath, rise and fall. Allow your knees to separate and tip them over to the right. Exhale. Inhale, point the knees up towards the ceiling, and exhale over to the left. Once more to each side, a little windshield wiper here. Nice and gentle, side to side. Eventually meeting back in the middle. Let's hug the right knee in towards the chest and extend the left leg down towards the bottom of the mat. Or you can keep the foot flat on the ground, whatever you prefer. Sinking your knee down towards your armpit. If you'd like, you can turn this into this kind of upside down lunge shape. So The right sole of the foot faces up towards the ceiling. You can hold onto the back of your leg, the ankle, or the edge of your foot as your knee sinks down towards the armpit. And maybe you extend the left leg. That's an option. Be here for another breath in. Taking in. As you exhale, letting go, release your foot back onto the earth. And hug the left knee in. Squeezing in here, take a couple breaths. Find the variation that feels good for you. So maybe not hugging the knee so close and towards the chest feels better, and that's totally fine. Another breath in here. And a full breath out. Gently release the foot, 2 feet flat on the ground. Let's bring the hands next to the sides of the body, palms face down. We'll do a little active bridge action here. Feet comfortably close, planting firmly, spread the toes wide, and then inhale, let that natural curve of your back occur. So the pubic bone tips down, kind of deepening the groin, and then exhale to press your hips up, kind of neutralizing the spine as you lift up. Just finding that grounding through the legs, lifting up any amount, doesn't need to be a whole lot. Let's take another breath in here, and exhale, floating down, rolling down. Let your inhale create that natural curve again, tipping the pubic bone forward, lifting up through the armpits, and then exhale, press into the feet, lift up. Staying here for a couple of breaths. You might even bring your gaze down the tip of the nose and watch your belly move. Rise and fall. What pattern is your breath moving in? You might imagine the backs of the knees lengthening forward, pulling away from the collarbones. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, melt on down, nice and slow. Making our way to table. You can rock and roll forward and backward, or roll onto your side and press up. And moving towards that sturdy, stable tabletop position, hands under the shoulders, fingers spreading wide. Feel the navel draw in towards the spine, and almost imagining those front hip points of the pelvis wrapping in closer to the navel. Just feeling that sort of scooping in. When you're ready, drop your belly, look up, arch the back for cow pose. As you exhale, round in, really pressing into the hands, feeling that connection to the earth. And keep on flowing, cat and cow, a couple more rounds. Finding that rhythm of your breath and movement. You might bring specific attention to the pelvis here, noticing that tipping forward and tilting back as you flow from shape to shape. Let's take one more round here, cat and cow, flow at your pace. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine. That same kind of strong sensation, pressing into the hands, navel scoops in, narrowing the hip points. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's tuck the toes under and walk the hands back a little bit. Starting to feel into the bottoms of the feet. You don't have to come back super far unless you want to. So we're getting that big stretch in the toes and the bottoms of the feet. You might choose to continue walking the hands back and bring your hands to the tops of the thighs. It's totally up to you. And if you would like to add a little bit of wrist stretch action, you can either turn the fingers towards your knees and palms down to get that stretch in the front of the wrists. Or you can have your hands in the air, stretching the fingers wide and starting to turn your hands out. So just starting to crank the hands open out to the sides and then down towards the ground. It's following that same path that you took to get there, turning back around, maybe tilting the hands in a bit. Kind of like you're opening a doorknob with wide palms. Let's do that one more time, turning the hands down and bringing the hands back around. You both are guitar players. You can probably appreciate that stretching of the hands, stretching of the wrists. Come back to table, untuck the toes. I know that can be kind of intense on the feet too. So it's like settle in here, breathing in and breathing out. Let's stretch the right leg towards the back of the mat, spinal balance, reaching through the heel, turn the toes down towards the ground. Reach the chest forward, find that length through the sides of your body. If you'd like, feel free to stretch the left fingertips forward, rooting through the right arm. Take another breath in, lengthening from the inside out. As you exhale, hand and knee come down, releasing, letting go. Shift your hips back towards your heels. And then over to the right, making 2 big circles with the hips. So finding that rotation to your degree, so your range of motion here. Eventually setting hips back towards the heels, moving back through your tabletop, prepare for spinal balance. Left leg reaches back when you are ready. Toes turn down. Thinking about the hip points narrowing, almost like the inner thighs were squeezing together here. Lengthen the chest forward. Right fingertips can stretch forward if you'd like. Thigh bones moving towards their sockets here. Breathing in. Stay and breathe out. One more inhale. And exhale. Hand and knee come down. Drop the hips towards your heels. 2 big circles over to the left. Find your breath, your movement. Find what feels good. Feeling into the sides of the body, the sides of the hips. Moving back forward towards your tabletop. And then walk the knees out wide and set the hips back towards child's pose. Forehead meets the earth, bowing in. And feel free to find a little bit of movement here, like rocking your head side to side, or even kind of swiveling your body side to side, a little sway. Let your breath, that ocean wave of a breath, guide even those little movements, of bringing like a fluidity to your shape. Take another breath in and a full breath out. Next breath in, float forward back into table, but we'll walk the knees back a little further and prep for plank pose. So you can have your knees down on the mat, or you can tuck your toes and lift one or both knees up. Feel that connection of your hands rooted on the mat, like you're pressing in, puffing up the space between the shoulder blades, narrowing the hip points in towards the navel, wide, broad sacrum. Let's take another breath in here, lengthening from the inside out. As you exhale, drop the knees, opening for cow pose or upward facing dog, your choice. You can lower the hips, open through the front of the body, and then press back to your downward facing dog or child's pose. Down dog or child's for the next 5 breaths or so. Feel free to find a little bit of movement again, a little fluidity within your shape. Bowing the head, lengthening your back, hips drawing back wherever you are. Breathe in and breathe out. On your next breath in, shift forward to your plank pose or tabletop. And as you exhale, drop the knees, cow pose or upward facing dog. This should feel familiar. Opening up, inhale, back bend, and all the way back to child's or downward facing dog. And we'll do that one more time. So really whenever you're ready, find that same flow, shifting forward to your plank or table. Inhale, exhale to lower the knees, preparing for your back bend. Opening through the front of the body, cow pose, up dog, and all the way back, child's or down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's gently make our way to the top of the mat, just taking your time to step forward, fold forward over the legs when you arrive. You can soften the knees as much as you'd like. And just check in with the low back. You might bring your hands a little higher on your legs for your fold. Just kind of exploring what really feels good in the body. Sometimes folding deep is not the answer, and sometimes it is. So just checking in. Let your head be loose, heavy, free. And root down through your feet and rise all the way up to stand whenever you're ready. Sweep the arms overhead. Inhale. As you exhale, hands float down to your side. Stand up tall. Right away, let's sweep the arms up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale to fold over the legs any amount. Dive in. Half sun salute. We'll lift halfway on an inhale. Look forward, hands to shins, thighs, or the ground. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise all the way up. Feet root down, arms stretch up. Hands down to your sides as you exhale. Right away, arms up and overhead. Same thing, no surprises here. Find your flow, moving with your breath, folding in. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale brings you all the way up. Hands down to your sides. Exhale. So we'll add on a little this time. Sweep the arms up. This time, left arm drops to your side. Stretch up through the right, fingertips, and then lean to the left any amount. Inhale, left arm reaches up to meet the right. And drop the right hand down, lean to the right. Inhale to come up through the center, big sweep up, stretch up, and look up. Exhale, fold over the legs, soften the knees as much as you'd like. Inhale, lift halfway, look forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up, feet are pressing down, toes are spreading wide. And exhale, hands down to your sides. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Left hand drops. Stretch up through the right and lean over. Inhale, back up through the center, leaning to the right. Left arm stays lifted. Inhale, back up, look up, and fold over the legs, soften in. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen your back here. Exhale to fold. Rise all the way to stand. Big sweep of the arms up. Look up. As you exhale, hands down to your sides. Sitting back into chair pose. Gonna start to add on a little different flow this time. And we'll kind of find that same, I think we did this flow last week, Danny, that add-on flow. So you can decide how, what you want to add on. So we're in chair, sitting back any amount. The arms are lifting up, the armpits are lengthening up, kind of inching out of the low back a little bit. Next breath out, hands come to your hips, bend your right knee and squeeze your heel in towards your glute. So we're doing this little hamstring curl. And then stand up on the left leg and bring the right knee in towards your chest. Inhale. Exhale to stay, find a steady gaze. And maybe you stretch your arms up and overhead for this last breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands and the foot back down to meet the earth. And inhale right back into chair. Sweep the arms up, hips drop back. Hands to your hips, exhale as you squeeze the left heel in towards your glute. And then stand up on the right leg, knee towards your chest. Staying here. Let's find a breath in, maybe the arms float up. And as you exhale, hands and foot come down to the earth. All right, we're gonna add on here. Arms sweep up into your chair. Exhale, hands to hips. Right heel squeezes in. Hamstring curl, knee points down. Inhale to stand up on the left leg, knee to chest. Let's press back through the right leg for warrior three. Your toes might come down onto the ground, so you can hover your right toes or you might bring them down right away. It's totally up to you. Chest is forward, back is long, shoulder blades squeezing together, standing on the left leg. Take another breath in here. We'll all bring the right toes down onto the ground. Exhale, hands come to the top of the left thigh. High lunge, settling in, grounding into the legs. If you'd like, you can float your arms up and overhead, finding that lightness in the upper body. Shoulder blades squeezing together, chest lifting. And we take another breath in here. As you exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot and step back to your downward facing dog. Down dog. If you'd like, you can flow here or you can stay right where you are. Down dog. If you're flowing, you could come through plank pose, take a half push-up, or do that same variation that we were doing before. Dropping the knees, opening for your back bend and coming back. Take a slow breath in here. Soften the knees and make your way to the top of the mat. Look forward, step forward. Lift halfway when you arrive. And then soften into your fold. Head is heavy. Chair pose on your inhale, hips sit back, arms sweep up. Stable through the right leg, hands to the hips as you squeeze the left heel in towards your glute. Standing on one leg. Let's bring the knee in towards the chest. Stand up. Maybe the arms come up for a breath in. And then moving towards your warrior three, big press back through the left heel. So thinking about spinal balance here, the toes continue to turn down towards the ground. Lengthening the chest forward. Hip points are narrowing. Let's take another breath in wherever you are and then dropping the left toes back, settling into your lunge, hands to the top of the thigh for grounding. Exhale. Let your inhale bring your arms overhead if you'd like. Finding that stretch up through the fingertips, kind of inching out of the low back as you squeeze the inner thighs together. Breathe in. And as you exhale, hands down onto the mat. Step to your down dog, tabletop or child's pose is welcome too. Feel free to flow, coming forward into your plank. Chaturanga or knees down. Open for your back bend. And we'll all meet back in down dog. Breathing in. And breathing out. Soften your knees, step to the top of the mat. Take your time to arrive. Looking forward when you do. And exhale to soften in. Knees soften. Chair pose as you inhale. Sweep the arms up, hips draw back. And exhale, hands to hips. Bend your right knee, squeeze it in. No surprises here. Knee comes in, stand on the left leg. Inhale. And press back, exhale for your warrior three. Transitioning a little bit quicker. Bring the toes back behind you, hands on the left thigh, grounding. And if you'd like, sweep the arms up and overhead. Option to add a twist here to your degree. So you can open to the left, right arm forward, left arm back, squeezing the inner thighs together. Another breath in to lengthen the spine. Exhale to stay. And then inhale, come back up through the center, arms stretch up. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back to your down dog, tabletop or child's pose. Find a flow if you'd like. Let your knees get soft. Step to the top of the mat when you're ready. Look forward, lengthen your back. And exhale, fold in. Chair pose, set the hips back, arms sweep up. Hands come onto your hips. Left heel squeezes in. Stand on the right leg, nice and strong here, rising up. Warrior three, press back through the left heel, turn the toes down. Almost like you're finding a little back bend in the chest here. Squeeze the shoulder blades in and down the back. High lunge, back toes drop, hands to the front thigh. And whenever you're ready, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Stay here or twist, opening to the right, left arm forward, right arm back. Lifting the chest, inner thighs squeeze together, inhale. Exhale to hold. Coming back through the center, breathe in, stretch up, maybe lean back a little. And exhale, hands down to the ground, downward facing dog. Stay here or flow. Just letting your breath guide your movement wherever you are, whether you're moving or staying still. A little bit of fluidity into the body, into the practice. Inhale. And exhale, knees soften, look forward, step forward. And lift halfway, lengthen your back. Exhale to fold in. And inhale, chair pose. Good job. Let's set the hands on the hips, squeeze the right heel in. You are doing great. This is a lot of movement. Knee comes in towards your chest. And press back through your right heel. Look forward, warrior three. Just a beat here. High lunge, plant the back toes. Maybe you sweep your arms up right away this time. And we'll just take an exhale to twist open to the left if you'd like. Right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, come back through the center. Warrior two this time. Drop the back heel. Open the arms out into your T. Feel free to widen your stance, heel toe your left foot a little wider if you'd like, and even flipping the palms up might feel nice, kind of squeezing the shoulder blades together. Broad across the chest, heavy in the sitting bones. Breathe in. As you breathe out, cartwheel the hands down, downward facing dog. Flowing here if you'd like, or stay where you are. Maybe letting a breath out of the mouth. Soften the knees and step to the top of the mat. Looking forward, lengthen your back. Knees are soft. Exhale, fold in, chin to chest. Chair pose as you inhale. Set the hips back. Sweep the arms up. And hands come onto your hips. Left heel squeezes in. Stand up on the right leg. Again, no surprises. Find the flow, pressing back to your warrior three. Big sweep back of the leg, look forward, coming into your high lunge, plant the toes behind you, sweep your arms up, inhale. Maybe you twist to the right, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale to come back up through the center. Warrior two as you exhale, back heel drops, arms open out, settle in. Palms might flip forward. Find a little bit of space across the chest. Lengthen the spine. Imagine that kind of tipping down of the sitting bones, broadening the sacrum. Hip points narrow in towards the navel. Breathing in, receiving. Breathing out, letting go, offering what you have here as you cartwheel the hands down and step back to down dog. And maybe flow. Maybe in down dog with a little bit of movement. Pedal the legs, swivel the pelvis, breathe in and breathe out. Soften the knees and step to the top of your mat. Look forward, lengthen here. Exhale to fold in. Inhale for chair pose, arms up, hips back. Bring your hands onto your hips and right heel squeezes in. Stand on the left leg, knee towards your chest. Inhale. Exhale, pressing back for your warrior three. Drop your toes down onto the mat. Settle into your lunge. Your inhale brings the arms overhead. Open twist to the left if you'd like. Inhale, come back up through the center. And warrior two as you exhale, drop the back heel, open out. All right, from here, side angle, bring the forearm onto the thigh. Right hand can come onto your hip here or sweep it up alongside the ear or reach up towards the ceiling. Just finding a place that feels interesting to you here. And I'll invite you to play around with where your pelvis is in space. So maybe drawing the butt back a little bit, kind of exploring how that feels in the hips, the groin, maybe sliding the hip points forward. Just finding a place that feels good. On your next breath in, slowly come back up into warrior two, maybe straighten the front leg, and then cartwheel the hands down, downward facing dog. Feel free to flow, moving slow, no rush here. We'll gently make our way back to the top of the mat. When you're ready, looking forward, lengthening the back, and folding in. Chair pose, inhale, arms up, hips back, hands to the hips as you exhale, left heel squeezes in. Stand up tall, knee in. Warrior three, press back through the heel, look forward, shoulder blades squeeze together. Inhale here. Left toes down on the mat behind you, high lunge. Exhale. Your inhale brings your arms up. Open twist to the right if you'd like. Inhale back up through the center. Moving towards warrior two. Drop the back heel. Arms open out. Side angle, right forearm to right thigh. Left arm up. And take a few breaths here, just exploring. Find what feels good to you. And thinking about keeping length and strength through both sides of the body. Stable in the legs. And slowly come up and out of the pose. Inhale, maybe straighten that front leg. And exhale to cartwheel the hands down, step back to down dog, table, or child's. Flow if you'd like. And stepping to the top of the mat for Our last round, you know what to do. Lifting halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold. Come into your chair pose, hips back, hands onto your hips. So I'm gonna stop cueing this and you know where to go. We've done this a few times. You can find your breath, find your flow. It's moving with your breath. Let it guide you. If you want to stay somewhere longer, know that's okay. And once you get to side angle, we'll start to move towards a half moon pose. If you want to go there, bringing the right hand onto your hip, looking in front of the left toes, and shifting into the left foot. Bringing a block or holding onto something out in front of you is very helpful here. Holding onto a surface. I'm thinking about pressing through both feet equally. Pressing through the lifted leg like you're standing on a wall, curling the chest open, letting the earth feed your pose, your inhale, expressive, expansive. Next breath out, bring your back foot back onto the earth, straighten your front leg and just take a big stretch up. Inhale. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Make your way back to your down dog. Feel free to flow or not. We'll all meet back at the top of the mat to complete the other side, lifting halfway, lengthen here. Exhale to fold. Chair pose, big breath in, sweep the arms up. And hands to hips, left heel squeezes in. Find your rhythm here. No surprises, just moving with your breath, moving at your pace. Noticing what's touching the ground, what's keeping you rooted. What feels light, what feels spacious. From side angle, begin to move towards your half moon. Just taking your time to take that big step into your right foot. Lengthening through the back leg. Rooting through your front foot, kind of spreading the toes wider, maybe soften your knee a little bit. Explore. Even while you're lifted, you might think about that narrowing of the hip points, broadening of the sacrum. Take another breath in. Move back. Bring the foot back onto the earth and straighten the front leg. Stretch the arms up. Inhale. And cartwheel your hands down. Step on back to down dog, child's pose, or table. Finding a flow here if you'd like. All right. Let's all meet in tabletop. Bringing the knees down onto the mat. Let's reach the right leg towards the back of the mat. Kind of like this spinal balance just to extend. And then bring the right shin forward towards the front of the mat. Come into your pigeon pose. And inch your shin farther forward if you'd like. And let's take a gentle flex in the right foot. Maybe propping yourself up with something if you'd like, something under your right hip. A variation that I've been really enjoying lately is walking my hands a little farther forward, kind of pressing into my hands and finding that deepening of the groin. So kind of like my hips are drawing back, inner thighs are gently moving towards one another. Something to play around with. wherever you are, slowing down your breath. Breathing in, receiving. Breathing out, letting go. Gently walk your hands back. If you'd like to move through down dog, feel free to do that, or move through table. And take a little bit of movement here, swiveling the hips, maybe extending the leg for a moment and circling the knee. And whenever you're ready, left leg reaches up and back. Send the shin forward. Preparing for pigeon on the other side. Maybe you choose to walk the hands forward, gently pressing into the hands. Even here where things might seem to get more rigid or tense, see if you can find some kind of fluidity, some kind of flow, movement of softness. Another breath in and a full breath out. And gently walk the hands back, come out of the pose. Take your time to unravel. Down dog or table with a little movement. Let's meet in child's pose, bringing the knees wide, hips to heels, with the option to walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Little side body action. Gently walk the hands back through the center and over to the other side. Gently bringing the hands back through the middle. Let's shift forward into table. And then swing the legs out in front of you. Come into a seated position. Let's bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Knees wide. Just find your sitting bones. Sometimes rocking forward is helpful for that, at least for me. And you might even take your hands onto your feet and gently start to open your feet like a little book. Just taking a peek at your feet. Maybe even giving yourself a little foot massage. Feeling into the arch of your foot with your thumbs. All right, let's start to lean back now. Bring the hands about a few inches back behind you. Starting to lean back, lift your chest, lengthen up through the armpits and tip the pubic bone forward. Kind of lifting, arching, looking up, maybe even dropping the head back. Breathing in and breathing out, rocking back up and over the sitting bones. Let's scoop the knees in and bring them together. And slowly make your way down onto your back. When you get there, you can bring the knees in towards the chest a little bit and bring the hands to cup the tops of your knees. Let's swing the knees over to the left and then bring the knees as far as they can go away from you without losing your connection of hands on your knees. Bring the knees to the right and all the way back towards your chest. Just finding a little massage of the back of the pelvis. Might even feel it in the upper glutes a little bit. One more circle in that direction. And circling 3 times in the other direction. Knees away from you, back in towards the chest. Exhale. All right, let's bring the soles of the feet onto the ground. Cross your right leg over your left. So this is like a reclined Gomukhasana pose. Your left foot might stay on the ground here. This might be enough of a sensation and stretch. If you'd like, you can start to lift your foot off of the ground and bring the knees closer towards your chest. If you want more, you can hold onto the shins with your hands. Maybe walk your hands to your ankles or your feet and start to draw the legs wide towards the edges of your mat. So by gently tugging with your hands, you're kind of deepening the cross of your legs. And then maybe you choose to hug in towards your body a little bit. And although this pose is definitely focusing on the hips, see if you can kind of inch your shoulders wide, lengthen through the top of the head, the sides of the neck stay long, lengthening up through the armpits. Here for another breath in. And slowly release the legs. Unravel, bring the feet back onto the ground, and cross the left leg over the right. Hang out here, feeling the sensations that arise, or start to lift your foot off of the ground. Maybe you start to grab onto the legs with your hands. Right hand is on left leg, left hand is on right leg. Gently pulling the feet wider, the legs wider, and then in towards the chest. Even here, keeping awareness of a broad sacrum, narrowing hip points, lengthening up through the armpits. Breath in and a breath out. Slowly unravel. Bring the feet back onto the mat wide this time. Let's tip the knees over to the right and bring the right hand onto the belly. Extend the left arm up alongside the ear. A couple breaths here, feeling into that movement of your breath under your palm. And tip the knees to the other side. Switch hands. Gently make your way back through the center. Move towards a place that you'd like to rest in. Maybe extending the legs or bringing feet wide and tipping the knees together. Another option would be to move towards a wall, bringing the legs up the wall. Sometimes when we've been sitting a long time, that can be a nice sort of flush in the other direction. An idea, an option. We'll rest for about 5 minutes here. A good bit of time to let the body settle and let the practice sink in. Nothing more to do, just be here. And take rest. Aparigraha invites us to let go and to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying fully. What if we could trust life like we trust the breath? What if we could take in all the nourishment of the moment and then let it go fully, trusting that more nourishment will come? Breathing in, taking in what you need. Breathing out, giving what you can. Gently starting to move your body and make your way towards a seat when you're ready. Settling here, maybe with the eyes closed. Letting the shoulders soften away from the ears. And just closing with an intention of gratitude for the breath, for this practice, all those who have freely given again and again. Thank you for being here. Great to see you both.